Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to the first concert of our Spring Fling series. This is number 1, featuring symphony orchestra and symphony band. Our second Spring Fling concert will feature concert orchestra, Philharmonia orchestra, and concert band on Thursday. I'm Matt Nix, I'm the orchestra teacher here. I want to thank you for your attendance and the support of our students, notably our seniors in symphony orchestra and symphony band, as this is their final concert of their FHS career. Pretty exciting for them tonight. A couple of reminders. Let's refrain from flash photography. Let's turn all ringers off and vibrate off, please. And if you need the restroom, they are out this exit and to the left. Before you use the symphony orchestra, really special group. They are coming off of their trip to MSBOA Orchestra Festival in March, where they received all ones from 3 really distinguished string judges. Really proud of them for that. And we have a varied program for you, which starts off with The Jig by Gustav Holst, so enjoy. feel free to find a seat. We have to do some setup over here anyways. The next piece on the program is called Ballets, Dances for Orchestra by Richard Meyer. The reason we programmed it, we have really fabulous musicians in this group, and two of our seniors, Annika Anderson and Deepika Krishnaswamy, they're just fabulous musicians. Deepika was just at Youth Arts Festival with another one of our violinists, Monsi Perez, and this piece features two solo violins accompanied by string orchestra. So I'm really proud of these guys. They did a great job preparing this piece. So let's welcome them and Ballets. Let's give these two another hand. That's really great. The next piece on the program is called O Magnum Mysterium by Morton Lordenson, transcribed by Sandra Dackow for orchestra. This was originally a prayer that Morton Lordenson took and set to music for a chorus. And the chorus recording and performances are really beautiful. And the transcription to strings, it's a really nice setting, but instead of focusing on text like Lordenson's original choral version does, the orchestra brings out different colors, really focuses on bow technique, really beautiful tone. But with this group, when we first read through it, I think the students were pretty suspicious. They listened to it, and it was nothing like they'd ever performed before. It's very atmospheric, obviously prayerful, meditative, and really transports you to a different realm if you let yourself go there. So I challenge you to maybe close your eyes and really enjoy the sounds, and think of what a chorus might sound like, kind of intermixed with strings. Really beautiful piece. So, O Magnum Mysterium. Before we perform our last selection, there are 6 people that I want to bring to the front. They are the Farmington High School Symphony Orchestra seniors. So by section, I want them to come up. So Chantal Moore, Annika Anderson, Deepika Krishnaswamy. You guys can come up here and stand at the front. Emma Gittick, Patty McGonigal, and Jacob Bardis. I want you guys to come to the front. I have a small gift of my appreciation for you over there. Yeah. So, first of all, give these 6 a hand for everything they've done. You know, I've only taught these 6 for, I promise I wouldn't do this. I only taught these 6 for 1 year. But I felt like I knew them for much, much longer. You're really great. And you're gonna do great things when you leave here. So, big kudos to you. Okay, I'm done crying. You guys can sit. Oh, you want to do a picture? Okay, yeah, take a picture. Oh, yeah, I did. Yep. Oh, you want me in there? We'll talk more about them in detail on June the 2nd when the banquet is. And everyone is invited to the banquet. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders and your families come that evening. It's on Thursday, June 2nd, in the cafeteria and the auditorium. Dinner at 6 o'clock, it's potluck dinner, so bring a dish or a beverage or a dessert to pass. And then we do awards at 7 o'clock. We want to close the first half of the concert with the last movement of St. Paul's Suite. It's called the Dargeson, and when you first look at Dargeson, it looks like the dragon, but it's not a dragon. The Dargeson, it's an English folk song. It's called a circular song, and it starts on the first violins, and it keeps literally circling back. The melody almost never stops playing throughout the orchestra. And then Holst really intelligently weaves the melody from Greensleeves into the Dargeson to create a nice 2-melody effect, and that's all technical jargon. It's just really, really beautiful, so I hope you enjoy.
How about a hand for Symphony Band? Please welcome them to the stage. Our first number we're going to play for you is on kind of a whimsical theme. It's a Looney Tunes overture, but one of the things that's a strong part of the band tradition is a march. And that's really what this tune is a Broadway march. And even though Looney Tunes are very close to my heart, and something that I grew up with and have a great affinity for, I still enjoy them and sharing them with our students now and again. It's a place where I learned a terrific amount of music. How many guys learn music from watching cartoons? Yeah, isn't that's so cool. I didn't know how much music I knew until I went to music school. They're like, hey, that's where he's in the barber shop, or that kind of thing. So this is a Broadway march, and it's a little bit quicker than a traditional march, and has a little bit more syncopation. But everything you'd expect from a march is in here, as well as an overture style based on Looney Tunes themes. So please enjoy Looney Tunes overture. I'm so glad that the orchestra played the Darga song, and because we're going to take this a little deeper for you tonight. Granger and Holst were kind of contemporaries for a little while, and both Brits, both writing with a heavy influence of British folk music, and both producing pretty significant works in a largely insignificant period at early 20th century. And what we have here is, and similar in flavor to the Dark Sun, we've joked many times we already have one reel in our band. But we're going to perform for you, again, a reel, similar to what's going on in the Darkison. And the reel is a dance of sorts. I'm always reminded of when I was a kid, it was great fun for us to play helicopter. You kind of like spun around the lawn until you fell down. And the last one up won. Like, good job. Yeah, awesome. And that's kind of what a reel is. It's a repetitive melody over and over, in that Granger is going to continually invigorate with new material on top of it, speeding up until sort of we all fall over at the end. And so this is on a really fantastic theme, and I hope you enjoy themes from Green Bushes. Okay. Now we're going to feature the saxophones. I know. Um, and as a saxophonist, I have a lot of love for them. So saxophones, you want to come up here? So this comes from a place of love. I figured if we're going to feature them, we might as well razz them a little bit, right? Let's see. What's the difference between a saxophone and a lawnmower? Lawnmowers sound better in small ensembles. Or the alternate version, what's the difference between a saxophone and a lawnmower? If your neighbors borrow a lawnmower and don't return it, you might get mad. And the piece de resistance. Once there was a team of archaeologists, and they were off to study native cultures, and they were there in the jungle and moved into their first point of contact, and they met the chief, and the chief introduced them to their guide. And over the hill and far away, they heard this rhythmic drumming, and they kind of looked at the guide, and the guide said, "It's okay, you know, the drums need to keep playing. When the drums stop, it's very, very bad." They kind of shrugged their shoulders and took off into the jungle. And as they started moving to the heart of the jungle, the drums were intensifying. It just seemed like they were getting closer and closer, and they were starting to get a bit nervous. And to calm them, the guide said to them, "Don't worry, the drums need to keep playing. When the drums stop, well, it's very bad." So eventually they approached a clearing and figured they were going to set their camp for the night. So they loaded their equipment and put their tents up and had dinner and sat around the campfire. And the moon came out, and the stars came up, and the drumming just started to get overwhelming and just so intense. They could feel it in every bit of their being. And all of a sudden, the drumming stopped. And the anthropologist, sort of horror-stricken, looked at their guy, who wide-eyed was also very afraid. And one of the anthropologists was able to muster enough to ask. He said, "Well, what now? What happened? The drums stopped." And so, with much fear in his voice, the guy said, "Now, sax solo." All right. So with that being said, these guys have been, I figured we have a really great, nice, big, well, and very talented saxophone section in our ensemble this year. We're going to feature this. This is actually a jazz number by a Norwegian, if you can believe that. And so we're going to feature all of our saxophones here. This is Jazzing Up. Each year it's the same, and I've had the luxury of being here at Farmington High School for 15 years now, and every time we get a group of, I feel like just by the time that we get these students up to ramming speed, and they're really significant contributors to our program, and then it's time to say goodbye. And while we know, and we're still in contact with a lot of our alumni, we know that they're in for great things in the next part of their life, and we know they've made a mark here at Farmington High School. All the snazzily dressed people up here, we couldn't do what we've done without them. If our personnel was different, and I'm talking about marching band, I'm talking about pit orchestra, I'm talking about the things we're able to do on stage. We're getting a lot of miles per gallon out of our student, and a lot of it's because of our seniors. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce them right now. If you would save your applause for the end, we'll acknowledge all of them. Shelby Boschman, stand up please. Rachel Grodsky, please stand. Noah Taylor, please stand. Noah's doing double duty tonight. He's taking up the bass clarinet since the musical. Kent Jackson. Josh Lewis. Carter Reel. Blake Schillingford, and already standing in the back here, Dominic Gibson. Wave Dominic, there you go. And Jimmy Stever. These are our class of 2016 from our symphony band. Would you please give them a wonderful round of applause? Mr. Dix talked about our banquet on the 2nd. We're going to have a lot more love and attention to pay to not just our seniors, but all the members of our band and orchestra family as we sort of get everyone together one last time. It's a really nice evening. I hope you consider joining us. Our last number here is Fantasy and African American Spiritual. And the spiritual has a really special place in American music history. And while it's associated much more with the choral tradition, this is a really wonderful setting for concert band. And while we're unique here in that things like our spiritual have given birth to our blues tradition, our jazz tradition, and our American music tradition, which has influenced just about every single genre of music worldwide. And that all starts with this. And one of the neat things about it, and as a person that performs jazz music fairly regularly, one of the things that's exciting to me about things that are derivative of this is the individualized expression that you put into the ensemble. And so one of the things that I've asked the students to do, and one thing that's asked of me regularly as a performer, is I need to put my own individual flair or emphasis or turn on a particular line, maybe independent of my neighbor, because my line says to do that. So this is something that we've been exploring with this. It's a wonderful arrangement, really cool rhythmic things going on here. For our last tune tonight, this is Fantasy and an African American Spiritual.